What's up, Yins guys? This week on Car Dad Bill, we have a super special treat. I don't know if you can see it, but we have ourselves a 2022 Subaru WRX 6-speed manual transmission, all-wheel drive, turbo. It's the 5th generation of the Subaru WRX, and this one's really awesome, good and bad. Let's get to the review. First impressions of the WRX, and I want to start off by saying that my first impressions were different than my final impression. But the first impressions of this WRX are that it's a little bit soft. It's the limited trim. It's not the GT trim. It's not the premium trim. It's not the STI trim. It is the limited trim, which some may say is the lowest of the models besides the base model, and doesn't have all the gingerbread performance gingerbread that you would get in the other models. But this one does have a nice touchscreen, comfortable seats, unbelievably comfortable seats, LED headlights, quad exhaust pipes, nice wheels, brakes, all that good stuff. It has the majority of things that you would want on this vehicle. But first impression is it's a little bit soft. It's not as fast as I remember. I haven't been in one of these in a long time. It's not as fast as I remember, but it's definitely fast. But let's get to the review. What's up, guys? Standing outside the WRX, and what's the first thing you notice about this one? It's probably the gray on black, and I love this look. This is probably the one I would get just because it has all this stuff that blends together. I like the murdered out look, you know, the blacked out look kind of thing. But these are like, this is like a gray, and this is like a hard plastic against the metal. And we'll see as we walk around. But LED lights up front, fog lights, LED, functional hood scoop, WRX style. Side mirror lights. Then there's that nice, you have the air goes through, comes in the front, goes through the brakes, out the back. Plastic down along the bottoms. Look at this stance. Just look at this stance. It's such a clean, aggressive stance. Love the arches on both front and back, coming back to the back end. Awesome LED tail lights. Turn signals in there. Quad exhaust pipes down below. Spoiler, really clean. You hear that hum? It's got like a nice little hum to it when it's sitting there idling. Really good, clean outside. Let's go look on the inside. All right, guys, inside the WRX. Fire it up. Make sure it's not in gear. Turn on the AC. And look at this. This is what the inside of a WRX looks like. And to be completely honest with you, it's really clean. It's really streamlined. Nice carbon fiber design here. Different material, textures. The way things are set up. They all have this huge screen now. It just is what it is. Look at that. Stitching goes across. Really nice, really clean. Harman Kardon sound system down there. Look at those cool floor mats. They have like the tire print in the middle there. That's pretty neat. But then the actual driver's instrument cluster and the entertainment center, they're pretty normal looking, and I like it. I would actually rather not have the screen in the WRX. I'd rather just have a regular radio or something like that, but that's just me. The rest of your auxiliary buttons are down here if you have them. Obviously clutch pedal. And then your information display here is what's shown up there. And there's your turbo. I left that up most of the time. But normal gauges too, both sides, normal gauges. Back to the screen. Normal Subaru infotainment center, touchscreen. with the HVAC controls that are not dedicated, which I don't like. I don't like not being able to have function without the screen on. I know that I probably never not have the screen on, but if for some instance this would not work, neither would that. I'd be able to change the temperature, but not the control of anything else, where it's coming out or anything like that. I do like the style of these vents. They blow on your hands. This side as well, you can get it to aim right at your hands, and I like that feel. Some storage down here, charging ports down here for your USB. There it is, 6-speed manual, cup holders, container, normal stuff. These seats, however, are super clean, super suede, super comfortable, and they keep you in the seat. Let's take a look back there. Back seat test. Boom, not bad. Charging areas for the kids, spacious back seats, spacious, comfortable back seats, and static seat belts. So Anna can put her seat belt on by herself. Fantastic. Trunk space. Love the wing that's molded on there. I left the catcher's equipment in there so you can see how big of a space we have in there. That's full catcher's gear, 2 chest protectors, leg pads, 2 gloves, 2 helmets, all inside there. So it's not a bad trunk space. I'm sure I can get a couple hockey bags in there. And then the seats fold, but you'd have to put the sticks down the side of the car inside. Not bad. Let's go for a ride. All right, guys, so before we get on the road, I want to go over some of the numbers like we normally do. And this one's a little bit different. We don't have them in Roni per se. They provided me with some information sheets with what's in here, standard features and things like that for the WRX. And then the limited trim features as well. There's a list of that stuff. But for our purposes, 2022 Subaru WRX Limited, the MSRP on this one was $36,495. I would imagine with some of the other features like the Harman Kardon, maybe some other things, a sunroof, you're probably looking at more like 40,000, maybe 38,000, somewhere like that. 2.4 liter turbo boxer, 271 horsepower, 258 pound-feet of torque. They say you average 22 miles per gallon. I actually averaged 26.7, just around 27 actual average. That's with me driving on a road trip on the highway and a lot of suburban driving. And really, to be honest with you, standing on a throttle half the time. So it's pretty good mileage for a vehicle this size with the all-wheel drive as well. Just a reminder, this is the 5th generation WRX. Let's get out on the road and talk about the good and the bad. So we're out driving. We want to go over the good and the bad, right? And you're driving a WRX. So 4-seater or 5-seater, 4-door, regular size sedan, under 40 grand. Turbocharged, all-wheel drive, stick shift. It's got that rally car heritage, right? So you have to know that going into it, and you have to, you know, understand that you're getting into a WRX where you have to shift. It's not a luxury vehicle. It's not a cheap commuter car or anything like that. It's a WRX. It's kind of a special vehicle. That being said, the drivability, the all-wheel drive presence, the turbo, the comfort, the style, all of that stuff comes together in this package, and it's wonderful. And there's no real good or bad with this car. It's a little bit better than I expected it. I was actually disappointed at first in the first impression. Maybe it was too soft. And then after I lived with it for a week and drove it around for a while and got to take a good, nice long road trip in it and drove around all these newly paved back roads around my area, this thing is perfect. I could drive this every day because I want to drive a stick shift and I want a turbocharged engine and I want all-wheel drive. There's going to be a lot of people that don't want that, and this is going to be something that's, the exhaust note for one is too loud for people, and I find it to be perfect. It's not too loud, but it's noticeable. You hear it. let's get into some of the bad stuff. Now on my bad list, first off, I'm on a tar and chipped road, so you might hear some of those rocks kicking up on the car, and that's just unfortunate. But the good, the bad, so the bad list. So on this one, there's only two real things that really stick out to me as being bad per se. Number one, the limited trim feels soft. The limited trim feels like, you know, it's not special enough. It doesn't have enough special features in it, and that's just in general. But after being with it for a week, it's really not too bad. It's got a lot of pep. It's got a lot of comfort. It's got a lot of value for the money, I think, personally. And the last thing, and I showed you guys this when we were on the interior, is that lack of HVAC control, like the dedicated control. There's control there. It's in the touchscreen, and if that touchscreen would ever not work, heaven forbid, you can't do anything with your HVAC. You can't change your AC, you can't change the temperature, nothing like that. So, well, there are temperature buttons dedicated on the outside, but there's no fan button or anything like that. So you would be kind of left on your own on that. Let's wrap this up. All right, guys, cruising down the road, backcountry road. It's where this car is at home, and that's really where I want you guys to focus. This car is all about driving. It's all about the feel of the road. It's all about the feel of the car. It's all about the comfort of everything. It's all about being confident. This car inspires confidence when you're driving it. It's so well planted, so well balanced. The turbo's so well adjusted, and the stick shift is so easy to get used to after a while, that this is like the perfect little package of a everyday rally car. It's literally what it is. And it's so much fun to drive. And I just want, that's where I want you guys to, I want to leave you guys with, is that it's comfortable, it's easy to drive, it looks really great. It's the WRX Heritage, the rally car, and it's confidence inspiring when you're driving it. It allows you to get happy in the corners and happy with the throttle and shifting through the gears, and it gets you involved in things, and it takes you back to the purest driving. And I give it a thumbs up. That's the WRX Car Dad Bill this week. Subscribe to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. It helps the algorithm, as you guys all know. I will talk to you guys next week. I found one of my favorite hill climbs, so you guys can hear it. And it just takes these bends. Oh man, the turbo kicking in. Shifts great. Great clutch. It's a heavy clutch, which is okay, it's welcome. I like it. You have to really press it and let them engage the gears. I'm okay with that. And then on these windy roads, it just stays in the turbo. It stays in the boost. It's all-wheel drive. It's got really good steering. They've updated the steering for this year, and it's really direct. It's really well planned. Especially, I drove it a lot on the highway this week, to and from a city a couple of 100 miles away, and it was so much fun to drive on the highway. I'm telling you what, great mountain road car.